Welcome back for another video. Today we are talking about tobacco preparation. I've touched on this before, but I'll talk about it a little bit some more. So I'm just going to walk you through the process that I do, and you know, if you've been watching me for a little bit now, it's, you know, I try to get the best smoke possible, flavor wise, as much as flavor as possible. Throughout the years I've gone through this process and learned from things from other people, trial and error. So this is what I've been doing pretty consistently now for probably a good handful of years now, and it's the only thing that's stuck. So anyway, so what I do, I open up a fresh tin, and you see plenty of those shorts on, you know, on the channel, me popping tins, and you see me put it on towels or dump it on the towels. What I'm actually doing there is I start the drying process out immediately. I dump it onto paper towels. I spread it out, and it depends on how long. I don't have a set time because there's two factors. There's the humidity in the house, depending on what time of year we're doing it, and how soaked is the tobacco to begin with. You know, how moisture is it? Some of it is, fortunately, some of it's actually somewhat dry, and some of it's kind of goopy with your aromatics. So, you know, there's all types of stuff, and you know, a lot of the aromatics I tend to put out in the sun on a warm day, so you know, to dry out. You'll see them coming in the summer. I'm actually cracking tins on a picnic table, so that's where I'm going to dry it. On the other hand, because I need direct sunlight, on the other hand, I can dry in the house. It just takes a lot longer, hours. If it's like that time of year where the heater or the air conditioner is not really running, the moisture, there's a little bit more moisture in the air, it's a little bit more humid, sometimes I have to leave it out overnight. So it's a feel process, and I try to get it not dry to a crisp, so I'm no longer using briars. It gets very dry. I get it to a very dry state, and then what I do is I either put it in the original tin. If it's an 8-ouncer, you see me crack 8-ounce tins, and what I do is I'll put it in a 2-ounce tin. I'll take 2 ounces out, and I'll jar the other 6, throw it in a mason jar, and the other 2 will go into, like, I have all these empty jars floating around. Maybe I shouldn't have picked one with a green tin. You know, they're empty. I got a whole box of these, and you know, I just take, like, if I have an 8-ounce tin, this is particularly Black Frigate, and you know, I'll throw it in there. Now this seal, this is not perfect, we all know that, but it's not bad. Let's put it that way. It's not bad considering I'm going to smoke this fairly soon. So when I'm drying it out, I get that feel. It's pretty dry. Now what happens is flake form, coin form, I'll rub it out. I'll rub all that out, and it will dry a little bit quicker. Now I tend to put the flakes out to get the drying process started, and I'll go back to it and then rub that all out. You know, it'll be like a ready rubbed, pretty much, and I'll get that nice and dry, and then that will go into the original tin, or one of these original tin, like I've been going through Veermaster. The review's already up for that. So I'll put it in here. Yeah, this isn't perfect seal either because it's already been cracked, but I'm going to smoke it. It's going to be smoked down soon. So like Briar Fox, I'm going through Briar Fox right now. That review's coming. And out of that 2 ounce, there's not much left. So it will be done soon. I don't keep too much at the ready. Now, everybody has different processes for their tobacco. So a lot of smokers have an array of jars, array of stuff to pick from. I had that going at one point. It's nice. And then I know what I'm smoking now. But what tended to happen was, I want to smoke tonight. So I'm looking at this shelf and I'm thinking, well, there's like 30 things to pick from. I don't know what I want. And I can't pick what mood I want. So I didn't smoke for the night. Okay, so what happens after you dry it out? Now, like I said, I get it pretty dry. And what I want to do is, like I said, put it in this tin, back in the original tin, or a 2 ounce. Or sometimes I use the small mason jars for like bulk items. And I also have some of these with no labels on it. I can use them too. What happens is, once it's dry, I put it in a tin. I'll let it sit for a week. Usually, minimum, I usually let it sit a week. Now, why? So what I'm doing is, there's moisture in the center part of that tobacco, and the outer part of the leaf is dry. What I want it to do is, I want what moisture is left in that tobacco to even out, go outwards, even it all out. A week, I don't know, sometimes a couple days. It doesn't, the longer the better, far as not too long. I'll get into that in a minute. So maybe a week, 2 weeks. I tend to plan ahead. What happens then? I'm already smoking something. Like right now, I'm going through Briar Fox, and this. I have a couple things here I'm going through, and I got stuff I'm popping. I'm starting that process for when this stuff is done. I go through 2 ounces. This is 175, and it keeps my rotation going. And I talked about my rotation in a previous video, which is kind of elaborate. It keeps everything different. I get bored quick. I'm not a Carter Hall every day, Prince Albert every day smoker. This is an elaborate hobby for me, so it gets pretty involved. The processes that I do and pick certain times a year for certain things. But there's a video on that in the archive. Go check that out if you haven't seen that yet. But really putting it into perspective, why wait a week? Now what happens is, I get to it within a month, 2 months. I do not wait. In tins like this that are open, I do not wait. If it's in a mason jar, that's different. I don't go past 6 months. Now what happens is, after like the 6-8 month period, it completely dries out to a point where you get tongue bite. Yes, you do get tongue bite from extremely dry tobacco that's been dry for a long time. That's why if you find a cracked tin in your cellar and it's dried out, you have to rehydrate it. And I have a video on that, and I found one recently, and I made a video of it, because that has to be rehydrated to regenerate all that flavor, introduce the moisture into the tobacco to get all that flavor back going again, and that has to sit for a long period of time. So it's the reverse of what you would normally do. And drying it out, letting it sit for a week or two, and then make sure you smoke it all up before 6 months. Yeah, that sounds crazy, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound crazy? But this is what I've gone through over the years, how to get the most repeatability smoke, the most flavorful smoke every time. When I sit down and have a pipe, I want to enjoy it every time, plus you pay for this stuff, and this stuff's not getting any cheaper, so I don't want to pick up a briar and break it in and I didn't get the full enjoyment of the tobacco because I'm too busy worried about breaking in a pipe. That's why I don't bother with them anymore. I've did my fair share with Briar over the years, and I came to the hard decision that it's not in repeatability. And you know, it's like I said, this is all trial and error I've done for 20 years at least. I started YouTube, the original channel, what, 12, 13 years ago. So I'm not new to YouTube, or to pipes. But over the years, I've had this, you know, figured out what I liked and what I don't like, and how to prepare tobacco. And another thing is the age. C&D stuff needs, it flat out needs 3 years on it to get that harshness out, to get that. It's like green. It's like fresh off the plant green. It's like that year. So even though sometimes they say, you know, they come out with their special editions, oh, this has 2005 in it, this has 2012, it's a bunch of different years, but it's still a new blend. It has to sit there and meld together still. So I mean, by doing this year after year, every day, 2-3 pipes a day, this is, you know, it's a long process to figure stuff out. And I'm here to help you advance that process. It don't take you 20 years to figure all this out. And, you know, like I said, I'm Cobbs and Meerschaum. That's the smoking material. I could advance it. I know Morta. I owned a Morta pipe. I actually owned 2 of them. I never played around with them long enough. I know they're better than the Briar. But I haven't played around with them enough to even give an opinion on it, because there's so many experiments I need to do, and frankly, I found out how to get the best smoke every time. So, which is through the Meerschaums and keeping those Meerschaums clean. That's the major thing. So, kind of going off on a ramble here, but that's fine. I'm telling you information that you might not know, and you can get something from that. And I've been doing this just too long, you know, the trial and error stuff. It's time to actually put that information out there. If it helps one person, it was worth it, because I went through quite a bit. Every day was a learning experience. Every single day, even though you might not think it. Every bowl is a learning experience. So that's my tobacco preparation process. Crack it, dry it, get it somewhat dry, or pretty good dry. Put it in a tin that it came in. That's fine. I usually, anything with that cardboard in it, I toss it. Unless it's one of these tins, I keep that paper, because if you flip it over, it kind of goes behind the Shakespeare collar and all that. So, you know, you want to do that, and then you'll be, you know, you wait a week, and then have that smoke down within, you know, 6 months. Preferably again in a mirror. So, and unfortunately, they've been going up in prices too. Kind of sucks, but there are some out there that are under $100. But so if you have a couple mirrors, just clean it up real good, and, you know, give it a shot. If you got one laying around, stick with it for a little bit. So, all right, so that's all I got. I hope you got something out of that. I kind of covered a little bit, kind of covered a lot on that one. So, all right, so I got, so have a good one.